So, Fabrizio, what was the very first spark, pun intended, that made you want to make solar invisible?
So, the beauty around us, especially in Italy, is what makes us a curious explorer of a planet worth discovering and protecting. During my travel of work or for pleasure, seeing stretches of the solar panel that made an escape and everything around it less beautiful. That was the spark. This was the turning point that allowed me to see a market needs and opportunities from a different angle and therefore provide an answer to a problem, especially for a regulation that placed aesthetic limitation and used the solar panel to protect the beauty around us.
The energy transition is happening, but is it fair? Is it working for people like you and me, or just for big market players? Welcome to Energ'Ethic. I am Cornelis, an expert in energy and climate policies, and I bring you the voices shaping our energy future. Activists, scientists, policymakers, the real people making real change, often against the odds. Here, we do not settle for surface-level takes. We dig into the challenges, the solutions, and the lessons that do not always make the headlines. And in doing so, we rediscover something vital, our ability to trust in institutions, to believe in change, and to reclaim our power to act. Because if we want just resilience, if we want just transition, we need to understand what it takes to make it happen. And more importantly, we need to believe that we can. Let's get into it. On Energ'Ethic, we keep coming back to a very simple idea. The energy transition is never about kilowatts, regulation, or technology. It's about places, people, and how we choose to live together. Take the latest episode. With Mirte Jepma, we explore our homes are more than walls and furniture. They carry stories, vulnerabilities, and the right to feel safe and comfortable. With Giulia Ulpiani, we stepped into the city, where energy meets public space, architecture, and the way we want to live together in our streets, in our squares. And with Rune Kirt, we reflected on beauty, not as a luxury, but as a necessary condition for acceptance and belonging in the energy transition. Today, we meet someone who brings all these ideas together very practically. Fabrizio Chiara is the founder and CEO of Sunspeker, an Italian startup with a poetic and industrial vision, making solar panels disappear. It's quite simply an innovative film that covers standard PV panels so that they disappear from view. This technology allows solar panels to blend into rooftops, facades, and landscapes, respecting Italy's heritage while unlocking the energy future. This film is produced in northern Italy, in Fabio's region, and is responding de facto to the challenge of deindustrialization. Because the real energy challenge is not just technical. It's cultural. It's about making energy fit in our homes, in our cities, in the place we love, in creating the right environment for common dreams to become realities. And behind this project lies Fabrizio's personal story, a journey from graphic design to industrial manufacturing, from outsider creativity to entrepreneurial resilience. And this is a conversation about beauty, cities, the place and people we call home, and a more discreet, not less ambitious energy transition. Fabrizio, welcome to Energ'Ethic.
Thank you so much, Marin, for your invitation to allow to discover and explore a new application of solar panel, not only in the city center, but also everywhere where present a special regulation to protect the landscape and the heritage building.
So we often say in the energy transition that it's not only in our home, but also in our streets, in our cities, in our landscapes. So Fabrizio, what was the very first spark, pun intended, that made you want to make solar invisible?
So we actually start from the same point. The beauty around us, especially in Italy, is what makes us a curious explorer of a planet worth discovering and protecting. The light bulb went on during my travel of work or for pleasure, seeing stretches of the solar panel that made an escape and everything around it less beautiful. That was the spark. We want to see an ugly world. This is the first question that was to start with our conversation today.
I love that. And that also comes from your own career path, right? Your own personal journey. because you've been moving between worlds like design, communication, R&D, industry. And do you think this kind of outsider perspective, this very fresh perspective, helps you see an opportunity that the energy sector, the bigger players, were missing?
Yes. My education stopped down. My education stopped before university, but my curiosity and my way to approach of the problem, different from classic engineering models, led me to find a solution to complex uses using unconventional methods. Okay, this was the turning point that allowed me to see a market needs and opportunities from a different angle, and therefore provide an answer to a problem, especially for a regulation that placed aesthetic limitation and used the solar panel to protect the beauty around us.
That's really interesting. And indeed, Sunspeker, the company you founded, it's very rooted in Italy. It's a country where beauty, architecture, and heritage are, of course, everywhere. But as you just said, where solar panels often struggle to find their place because they can be ugly and they can be in very conflict with all the beauty we have around us, right? So was there a specific kind of place or moment where you thought, okay, now it's the time to do something differently? Why hasn't anybody done things differently so far?
So, but I live in Canavese. I'm a Canavese people, and for me, it's very, very important for me because it's the land of where I'm born. So, the Canavese is based in the north of tourism and is famous for Olivetti industrial adventure journey, and a bit less also for a heavy industry like camping. It's a beautiful area, but also very dense with an industry that needs a lot of energy to operate, and often the industrial buildings don't perfectly blend with the nature.
Okay.
Here, the vision to provide energy solution for the area, offering zero impact solution for the environment, but also from the aesthetic point of view, thanks to aesthetic integrated solar panel using C-beyond film technology, took shape.
Okay, so there was a need and there was this kind of, ugly landscape, and you felt that you needed to fix it somehow. And that's really interesting. But what do you think is the role of beauty and aesthetic in making energy transition acceptable, especially in cities and public spaces? We had really interesting conversation about that in previous episodes of Energ'Ethic, really about the kind of how it builds trust, right? Because it blends into something that we already know. But what is your vision, Fabrizio?
My vision, but is the vision also of speaker, the beauty aesthetic is a center point. Because making the places we live in visually pleasing should be the trigger for a common strategy to improve the environmental and living aspect for the people, especially where they are most concentrated. And in the coming years, about 70% of the people lives in the cities.
Yeah, so 70% of the people are going to live in the cities. And so if they are not beautiful, I mean, it's going to be harder to commit for something, right? And that's also really very much an argument, like planting trees and improving the facades of the building, etc. But it seems to be like kind of two narratives. Like we need the energy transition to happen. We need actions to happen, but we never think about visual spit. It can be in the eyes, right? So you come there to really bridge the gaps. So you came up with this very interesting idea, Sunspeker. So can you explain us a little bit how you explain to your client or your investors also, because we will talk about it in a minute, but you're also in the middle of the crowdfunding campaign. So how do you explain to your clients or investors that less visible doesn't mean like less powerful, less innovative, less visible doesn't mean invisible, right?
Yeah. But for us, it's very easy in reality because thanks to a special regulation from a specific national or European regulation that indicate which solar solution to use, that change the rules. For Sunspeker, this is a specific direction, and our technology perfectly fits with it, with the rules that improve the adoption of solar panel in Europe, in Italy, but also in the other areas in the world to reach the target of net zero. For this reason, the fact that the solar panel is invisible show how innovative Sunspeker technology is and how it can truly change market rules in a simple and scalable way. For this reason, for us, it's very easy to demonstrate the importance of our solution in the improvement of the solar panel on the solar market in general, directly to the client and also for the investors.
Okay. And indeed, the fact that it was born in Italy, which is kind of laboratory of constraints, right? So with the small streets, historic centers, urban density. So it makes really developing a Sunspeaker in Italy, the perfect laboratory. And do you think Sunspeaker technology could actually be or become a blueprint for other innovations, for other cities facing the same kind of issue?
So we really hope so. And in fact, we believe in it. We believe in it. We have received requests from abroad with application from public building. And in the Stata Wide, they say, if you can make it in Italy, you can make it everywhere.
You can make it there, you can make it everywhere, right?
Because in Italy, it's totally different. It's another planet in the planet.
Okay.
This gives the scale and vision of international development of our solution because the market isn't just Italy, but the world.
Yeah, no, that's very interesting because since you already have like all the constraints to start with, then everything becomes easy, right?
Yes, the start in Italy is very hard. It's extremely challenging, but I believe that you can make it, you can make everywhere.
Fabrizio, so we just mentioned that you're also going through a kind of crowdfunding campaign, raising capital, because you are opening a production site in Canavese. I hope you invite me when it's ready, because I'm really looking forward to seeing how it is. So what does it mean, really, to bring innovation back to this local context? And what are your ambitions for this project?
So it means having a forward-looking view of the future of the territory, creating prospect and signaling that the world is changing, evolving, and even industry needs to look beyond the production models that maybe become obsolete in over time. We're thinking about robots and artificial intelligence. We are already designing our industrial future where human and machine will work together to make everything more sustainable.
Okay.
For me, Canavese is a magical place where the power of the ideas and the determination of the people have always made this territory great. And I hope to be remembered one day for this. For me, it's maybe the first target in my life to sing it, to permit one day young people to read my name, maybe in a book, and that remember of that I have a big impact for my territories, in my mind, but always in my heart.
Yeah, that's so nice because, we always talk about climate change and the global energy transition, but at the end of the day, the solutions have to be local, right? And they have to fit to a local context. And the fact that such an innovation, so again, Sunspeaker is it's a technology, maybe you will explain it better than me, but it's a technology that renders the solar panels invisible, so that manages to make sure that it blends it with the landscape. And you are bringing this technology to Europe, which is, of course, at the competitiveness level, at the really international geopolitical level, it's something so important, especially given this time we are living in. And really, you bring that back and in a sense, that also means that people in Canavese will take a lot of pride in having their locally produced product installed on their roof, right? So they become part of the energy transition and it becomes like a positive narrative for them as well. So it's not only about big industrialization project like the EU is very fond of, but something like that it comes really from the bottom, that is a bottom-up industrial project in a sense, right?
Yes, absolutely. This is already part of the plan we want to fully realize. Today we positioned ourselves as a solution capable of offering greater benefits for the public sectors. There are strong incentives that can reduce the cost of solar installation for public companies, for example. We need to find the right people who can make things happen.
Yeah.
Public building, public infrastructure, and mobility system could be a large energy communities that produce and consume its own energy, making the model replicable on an energy scale with a real impact on the people's lives.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So tell us a little bit more about the factory you're planning to build. Is it something, how many people will be working there? And as you said, it's going to be very innovative because there will be a lot of artificial intelligence and machinery as well. But how is it going to look like when running full speed?
So our industrial plan that permit to improve the adoption solar panel to large scale. Currently, we're working with a structure with a part of our production is in outsourcing, and that limited our efficiency, and also we limited our operation to scale up. For this reason, that want to create our facility in Canavese Valley, that is for us a very big milestone that permit us to become free to extend our operation also in the other areas. We started from Turin in Italy, but our idea is to expand our operation, commercial and also industrial structure outside Italy. Here we have the heart and the mindset of our production, and we believe that we can start from a little place to reaching the rest of the world directly from here, no? That permit also to create an environment and to change the vision of the people that were working with us, and support our industrial strategy to allows to reach the target in less time. For this reason, it's very important the impact that with the industrial process that we want to base it in Canavese have directly on the life of the people that are working with us.
So how many people are you planning to hire for this project?
Currently, the people that are working directly in Sunspeker is a team composed by 5 guys, the founder of the company. But in the next year, with our facility, our idea is to get on board 4-5 people in the first year, and after we continue to improve the human resources in our company, because I think that the scale up of the production improve the energy needs from the people that are working. For this reason, in the next 3 years, we think that we grow from 5 to 50 people.
Okay, wow. Yeah, it's going to be quite a nice challenge. And I'm pretty certain you'll find a lot of people, very enthusiastic people. And since it's also like a technology in the making, and you already have very good relationship with the Polytechnical, which is one of the main technical universities in Europe. So you will be able to kind of bridge those gaps and make sure that people will want to work with you in Canavese. And that's super inspiring, encouraging for a territory that a lot of people have forgotten its kind of industrial potential, but we need to bring it back everywhere. Right. So now I would like to kind of reflect about the future and how beauty and energy, how really like you have learned about how people feel about energy, about its visibility, its presence in their environment, how much it makes a difference, right? So we met, I think, a few years ago. And the first time we met, I thought, okay, he has a very nice idea. He's a dreamer. And I mean, we need more dreamers, right? But yeah, you have come from a vision to something that is super tangible now and super practical. But the reaction of the people, I'm really interested in understanding what reaction people had over your idea and what it has made you understand about what people feel about energy, right?
So to give the advice is never easy. Giving advice because I'm another people that continue to learn day by day from other guys. But if I really had to say something, I advise to always start with looking around us, observing people, and listen to what they say.
Yep.
Only this way will be to able to respond to the real problem of the world. For this reason, it's very important to continue to observe and to listen from the other guys that are around you. And maybe this is my advice for other guys that want to start with a new idea or continue to improve the mindset that you use to reach its target with in your journey.
Yeah. So confront yourself with reality and challenge yourself with the vision of other people, right? Was there a particular comment that you heard that made a difference in your journey?
Yeah. It's a good question because the guys that see our solution applied to the solar panel, the first effect is wow. But it's incredible. I don't believe that is a solar panel. And this is very important for us because we believe that we are reached the target and we have really an impact with our solution on the environment also, especially for the people that don't like it, the solar panel when you see directly on the building, on the rooftop, also on the facades. Our mission is to have a big impact for the environment, not only for the pollution, but also for visual pollution. In fact, we describe sometimes the aspect about the visual pollution. And we are very happy when the people don't believe. We are increased. They stay wow effect, right? To describe that with day by day we create for the market and for people that live in this planet.
Yeah, that's super interesting and super nice. And from what I read to prepare the episode, I saw that you only have one competitor in the world, right? And there is just one other organization that takes things the way you do, like trying to make those panels disappear and make them blend really with the facade instead of being an add-on, right? But I mean, of course, that requires so much R&D, so much innovation, so much changes. But with your case, I would expect that if they completely blend with the facade, the panels somehow, the permitting procedure gets easier, right? Because it doesn't change everything. It's not like the big revolution that it makes. So in old city centers, in places with really limited space, that makes a lot of sense. So what would be your biggest dream and hope for the future? Would it be to equip everyone with some Sunspeker-like solar panels?
Yeah, we believe that we can transform any building but it's not easy to describe because I have an idea in my mind, but when you describe that in the public, it's not easy. So, but we believe that any building one day that will be possible to create self-generate energy to our consumption and to permit also for the people that have a problem with the electricity needs to solve the problem because there is no problem. Today, my consumption is really low. I can share with you the energy to help you in this case because your needs is over my needs. Okay. To create the real idea of the communities, a global communities where all the world, all guys are connected and that permits all people to live in the same life without problem.
Yeah, that's really nice, right? It's like a combination of measures and solutions that really makes the world a better place. And that's exactly what the Energ'Ethic podcast are about. Creating this conversation and making sure that really there is a conversation between technology, between policy, between research, between kind of industrial advancement as well, because we need everyone to make sure that translates into tangible and proper projects. So what is, Fabrizio, we are reaching the end of this episode. What is the timeline? And so when can people contribute to the crowdfunding campaign? And when are you starting the production, the industrial production? When can we expect to see Sunspeker panels everywhere or not? Because they are invisible.
The dilemma of the Sunspeker is this. In the middle of May, we close our crowdfunding campaign. Currently, we are over 78% of the first target.
Cool.
Yes, thank you. Currently, we are over 500,000 euros. Our target is 650,000 euros. But we complete our fundraising stage, seed round stage. It's 1 million is our target. Okay. But currently, we reached the first closing. In the middle of May, we started directly to build our facility. And we believe that in the end of September and early of October, we start with the operation and start to deliver it. The first project that currently we are seeing with some client in Italy and also in Europe. We believe that in the end of 2025, we're closing our revenue circa to 200,000 euros. And the permit to scale to doubling this result in 2026.
Okay, congratulations then. And again, I repeat my self-invitation. I hope to see the production facility in Canavese soon. And I encourage our listeners to tune in because you have a nice website, right, where you present the project. So to check it out and follow for more, because I'm pretty certain that we will hear about this innovation more in the future. Thank you so much, Fabrizio.
Thank you so much, Marine.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Energ'Ethic. It's been a pleasure diving deep into the world of sustainability and the just energy transition with some of the most forward-thinking mouths out there. I'm Cornelis, your host from policy consultancy Next Energy Consumer, and it's been an incredible journey growing this podcast together with you, our knowledgeable and passionate listeners. Since 2021, we've shared countless stories, insights, and ideas over more than 40 episodes, and it's all thanks to your support and enthusiasm. If you enjoyed our journey so far and want to help us keep the conversation going, why not support us on Patreon? Every bit helps us bring more inspiring content your way. Check out the show notes for the link. And hey, if you're a part of an organization that shares our passion for a sustainable and inclusive energy future, we're excited to explore sponsorship opportunities with you. It's a fantastic way to connect with a dedicated audience and make an even bigger impact together. Shout out to the fantastic Igor Mihailovich from Podcast Media Factory for his incredible sound design work, making every episode a joy to listen to. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Energ'Ethic on your favorite podcast platform. And if you think a friend or a colleague could benefit from our episode, we'd love for you to spread the word. It helps us grow and keep the energy transition conversation alive. Sharing is caring. Follow us on Twitter and LinkedIn to stay engaged and update on all things Energ'Ethic. Thanks once again for lending your ears. Until next time.